Welcome to the America First podcast, where truth is spoken without fear. Hello and welcome to America First podcast. My name is Linda Barton, and I am here with the founder of TheTrumpTimes.com, America First Coalition, and Coalition for Trump 2020, Robert Jeter. Hey, Robert, you want to say hello to everybody out there?
Hello, Linda. Yeah, thanks for having me on today.
I'm sure not everybody's as busy as you are. I understand you are quite the busy guy. You want to let everybody know what all you're doing?
Well, right now, Linda, we have a ton of activities going on. We're engaging in some fundraising for the Drain the Swamp 2018 initiative we have set up on the Trump Times. You can go to TheTrumpTimes.com and click on Drain the Swamp in the menu there, and you can see where we're getting volunteers together. We're the idea is this: we have our president now. Mr. Trump is doing everything he can. I think everyone can agree that he is absolutely working his tail off to put some things into play that will help things for us people, the normal folks, the people who voted for Mr. Trump, the silent majority. And the problems that we see happening are obviously, the media has been one that's never left him alone and is always fighting against him. But now we see that not only is, most of our Congress and our representatives that are supposed to represent us are completely not on board with the America First agenda, which is American jobs. It's also lower taxes. It's also health care that we can afford. Things such as that. The Congress just isn't going along with him, and they won't even discuss some of these things. So the 2018 Drain the Swamp initiative is to remove what we call rhinos, Republicans that are only Republican in name. We want to have them removed. We want to see them removed and replaced. So that being said, the initiative basically is going to put boots on the ground in communities where these elected officials are up for election, and we're going to fight like heck to get them removed and replaced with someone who can at least say they're for America First. Now, we understand that a lot of people aren't going to, these congressmen and these senators and these representatives aren't just going to come out and say they love Mr. Trump. That's okay, but they at least need to be acknowledging that the America First agenda will be something that's first and foremost in their activities as far as their time in Washington. So that being said, we look forward to it. We've done a lot of work within the Trump campaign as far as grassroots, boots on the ground stuff, from bus tours we took up from Tennessee, or on the Trump card tour. We got a chance to meet Mr. Trump and his family there in New York at the Trump Tower during a VIP party for the New York primary. What a wonderful group of people. It was quite fun. We have some great stories about those. If you ever have time, we'll definitely share some of those with you.
Oh, I know everybody would love to hear those. I mean, I was so thrilled when Donald Trump and his lovely wife came down that escalator that day. It was as though hope was restored to people like us, that we barely survived 8 years of Obama and all the things that he did to destroy this great republic. And I know President Trump is going to do everything he can to restore us to the once great country we were, with values and morals and patriotism. And I'm just thrilled to death that the American people were able to overcome the elites in both parties and elect this wonderful man and make him our president.
Well, yeah, I mean, not only did we overcome the elites in both parties, the media, all types of interference from special interest. The simple, wonderful, revealing truth of this entire election has been the fact that we, the people, can do things that we want to see happen. It's refreshing to know that if we all stand together and we all work together, we can make things happen. And that kind of brings me back to how all this started. We had started a Facebook group, and this is back when I barely knew how to even put post on Facebook. I was basically communicating with my kids and stuff on Facebook. I used my wall. I didn't really know how to put pictures on there or anything like that. And, we see Mr. Trump. I seen Mr. Trump, announce he was going to be running for president. To be honest with you, my first thought was he's going to drop out. And it was just, I didn't really take it too seriously, to be honest. And I noticed over the period of the next week or so that he started to appear more and more on TV. He just started to come out of the woodwork. And then I started to listen to some of the things he was saying, and I was like, wow, that sounds like the truth, because they were completely unlike anything you'd ever heard from a politician. And then so I started to realize, well, he's not a politician. And so I started to get excited. I was like, wow, wouldn't that be cool to have someone who tells the truth, and we get to really kind of see what's really happening in Washington, and maybe we can actually have a better country that is, at that point in time, it was, things were just about as bad as it could be. I mean, unemployment was through the roof. Basically, the economy was, I wouldn't say in turmoil, but it was definitely not growing. So anyways, we start this little Facebook group called Truth Equals Trump, and we had like 43 members. And over the period of the next few weeks, I start to engage with other Trump supporters on Facebook, and we see that what's happening is there's a lot of people that are infighting. There's a lot of people on Facebook were either, it was kind of like people trstaking out territory, to be honest with you. And we've seen a lot of strife going on. So I got together with another Trump supporter, and we had discussed ideas on how we could fix this, and we came up with the idea of starting a group called the Donald Trump Page Administrators. And this truly was what really solved a lot of issues as far as on Facebook. So what we did was we started a group that was for admins only for Trump groups. So these people own their own Trump group, and they all came in, and we all got a chance to talk into one general location, one spot that we could all discuss issues that we were having. And so it exploded. I mean, it literally went. We had 43 members in Truth Equals Trump, and within 2 weeks, we went to having groups involved in the coalition. So I would say this was the beginning of the coalition, but it was called the Donald Trump Page Administrators. We went to having from 43 members to having close to 100,000 within a period of 2 weeks. And it was yeah. So we were able to do a lot of things, and there's a lot of super excitement going on during that time. People were very, very involved, and we've seen that we were able to actually circumvent a lot of problems, and it was just simply a matter of communication. People in texting people, it's really difficult for things or in post and stuff gets missed in translation.
Yes.
So once we had a general location where people could discuss what was going on within their Trump groups, we had basically solved a major problem. Now, this is kind of a secret because I don't really think that a lot of people know, but that was actually what I would probably say is what the news media is portraying now as being a Russian influence, because we literally went from having 43. Yeah, I know it's kind of funny, but yeah. Now, we started in Alaska. Sarah Palin had made the statement, we can see Russia, but that doesn't mean we are Russians. So we grew we grew this
That's funny.
In Alaska. We just started out from there, and it just really started to explode. And within a period of 6 months, we were probably right around 300,000 members in the groups, and we were clicking along, and then we got our own art department together. We had our own vetting groups to where we could, so basically if one person that came into one group and was causing problems there, we were able to remove them from all the groups, and thereby helping everybody with a tremendous amount of vetting. So having everything located in one place, it benefited Mr. Trump greatly. And the truth of the matter is a lot of people don't really know it. Now, the admins on Facebook do know it. And this is not something that I'm responsible for. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I take credit for all that, because the simple fact of the matter is that all those admins, all the owners of those groups, they are the ones who literally transformed Facebook. And immediately after that, that's when Mr. Trump began trending on Facebook and did not stop trending until, probably till maybe just right before the election. I think he stopped trending. It was probably right around the toxic tape things came out that things started to go a little cattywampus. But we overcame those things as well. So,
but the thing of it. Yeah, but the thing of it is, listening to you explain how it grew, that's something that those in the media and politics did not understand. They had always thought you had to play by certain rules. You had to do campaigns this way. And I remember hearing all that, and I remember getting bashed myself because I was a proud Trump supporter, I have different people on Facebook. Of course, some are liberal, and then, of course, there was the Never Trumpers, and, I got blocked, unfriended, called a fool. But these people just didn't understand that we had all decided we'd had enough. And there's power in numbers. And like you said, you went from 40-something up to over 100,000. That was showing the power of this movement. And I don't think a lot of people outside of it, even to this day, understand what's truly happening. President
Linda, I totally agree. Not only did it grow exponentially then, but it's still growing now. At this point, we have close to 650,000 members within groups on Facebook. We have quite a substantial presence on Twitter. We are moving into Instagram as well as LinkedIn. And with our new affiliate program, we're actually reaching into places we've never even thought we would be able to get before, into areas of where there's more of what's called a moderate Republicans, moderate Democrats. Because in the end of the game here, I see us working with, the America First Coalition is our umbrella organization. It contains the Trump Times. It also contains the Coalition for Trump. The America First Coalition is built on the premise that we want to get back to the Founding Fathers' ideals of what America is about. We want to stick to the values of God first, our country, our family, and remembering those who sacrificed, but also getting involved in the politics that are in local communities. We want to be involved in each of the cities' school board elections. We feel that there's a major influences going on within our schools that is indoctrinating our kids into liberal policies, into, for lack of a better word, a liberal agenda. So we want to be involved on that level. That's a lot of what our boots on the ground activities are. Our nationwide network, and people can get involved with this by going to the TrumpTimes.com, click on the menu button, and look at our state and district groups. We have 456 Facebook district groups that they can be involved in their own district. Now, these groups aren't like a normal Facebook group where you're putting up memes and videos and everything. These are working groups where people are talking about what they're going to be doing in the community, whether it's going to be sign waving, whether they're going to have a barbecue, they're going to go out and do voter registration. And this is really where the rubber meets the road, and it's where we can really have an effect on a nationwide level, because what can happen is, and what does happen is, information flows from those district volunteers up through our state leader, which is David Fuent. It flows up through him, and then we get the information, and we put that information out nationwide to bear pressure, let's say, down on that particular seat up for election, or that particular issue within that community. And we literally want to be able to. I mean, I'm not saying we need to be far right wing and Gestapo type stuff, but I want to see us move back to a nation that is for our children, basically. Because one thing we don't hear anymore, we don't hear that, let's leave a better place for our kids. We don't hear that. It's gone away, and now it's all about what can I get, how much can I get, when can I get it, and that really is disheartening for me. I'm the kind of guy that believes that that God created us for a reason, and is to love one another. And to cherish the moments that we have on the planet. Now, I know we try to kind of transcend between politics to religion here, but to be honest with you, there's not a lot of difference between family life, love, liberty, justice, country. All that for me rolls together, and it's the willingness to sacrifice for one another and to love one another, and I think that's what our organization really truly at the core is about. it literally has transformed hundreds and hundreds of people. It's contagious. I mean, it really is.
Well, the thing of it is that for years, the average American just kind of put their head to the grindstone. They went to work, they raised their families. They'd go out and vote, but they really didn't open their eyes to see what the left had been doing for a long time. They took that right out of the playbook of Saul Alinsky. They started at the grassroots in schools and educating. And, if you can grab a child at a young age and train them to be what you want them to be, I think that's where our whole snowflake problem has come today is, they have infiltrated our educational system. When you see on Facebook in schools where they have children doing the Islam prayers and everything,
or the transgender reading to there's a lot there's
there. And we need to stop that.
If I could say one thing, Linda, to the public, it would be you liberals who are on our school board levels, get ready because we're coming for you. You're going to be removed and you're going to be replaced. I want to be point blank on that. We are coming for you. Mm-hmm. We are going to fight to get you out of office, and we are going to fight to the death until the day that there is no longer an unequal representation on that level within our districts. That is completely skewed towards everything is free. You don't need to do anything. Johnny gets a trophy no matter what he does. I don't think that's. I think that we're learning now that it's not healthy and it's also not good for our kids. It absolutely lets our kids down. I mean, in the short term, it's like, they succeeded. But the fact of the matter is things that are easy to get are things that are very, free, so to speak, as a Bernie Sanders fan would say. Are they really worth having? And are they really something that we want to be perpetuating? I think not. And I think most of the listeners here today will agree that everything worth having takes hard work, it takes dedication, and it takes the willingness to fight for it. So I just want to encourage everyone out there today that we are out here and we are fighting and we will not stop. And it's a good thing, and it's a great thing if they would get involved. Go to the TrumpTimes.com, check out our menu button there, and go get involved with Drain the Swamp 2018. And it's something that is rewarding. It's going to be fun for all levels.
Well, I mean, our founding fathers were rather brilliant. They weren't perfect men. They were just people with, that had an idea that they wanted to make something great. And, when you read the Constitution and you study it, you really stop and think of what a wonderful thing we were given and how there's people out there today that want to destroy that. There's people out there that are trying to say socialism is the way. And they've brainwashed so many youths to believe this. And if we don't stand up and fight and push back and teach our children to be patriotic, teach our children to understand that this gift they were given of freedom can be lost in a blink of an eye.
Well, I think if we look, it would only take looking to Venezuela to see that socialism is, most recently, and it doesn't take very long for it to really cause a lot of problems. Now, getting back to what we had discussed with the kids, I think a lot of it really has to do with they don't really perceive as what we were doing as fun. I mean, and you got to remember back to when we were kids. If things aren't fun, you really don't want to do them. So I mean, that's kind of the way that. I mean, it's not hard to understand. It's not, and we don't really fault the kids for this, but if we can make our organizations more fun, more inviting, things that are, not so stale, so to speak, then I think that we'll gain a lot of, I mean, and for that matter, I mean, look at Mr. Trump. He's actually responsible for opening up a ton of new voters that, I mean, millions of people that never voted before that are first-time voters, that, and the only reason they voted, now they may not have voted for him, but the only reason they voted was because of him. So that, in a way, is a victory in itself, bringing them and getting them involved in the election process. So, you know, as you know, the Democrats are, you know, they're always going to be, you know, looking for ways to win elections by not earning it. I mean, they always have, and they always will. And I mean, it's not anything. I mean, and the way that I can prove this is that you look at what's happened since Mr. Trump's become elected. You have people that were always hidden, i.e., like the NFL players that take a knee in protest. They've always been there. They've always felt this way about our country. They've always felt this way about our election process. And the only thing is now is they have nothing to stand on, so they just cry out like a bunch of little babies. So they've always been there. So have these Hollywood elite. They've always been there. It's not like Mr. Trump came into office and all of a sudden these people were created. No, they've always been there, and they've always been fighting against us. The only thing is now is we know who they are and we can see them. And to be honest with you, it infuriates me. It literally infuriates me to think that these people that we give money to watch football games or to go to movies, these people could care less about our country. They could care less about you and your family. They don't want nothing but your dollar bills. And that right there absolutely makes me so angry that not only do we boycott the NFL, we now keep, I mean, personally, I don't go see certain, like if there's a movie with Johnny Depp in it, I don't care if they're giving me free tickets. I'm not going to go watch it. I wouldn't watch that guy on any level at all. If he ever comes on the TV, if I remember, it's turned off immediately. I don't want nothing to do with people that would threaten the life of my president, of someone that I care deeply about, and it's just like my family. I mean, we got to remember that we are the family. We're all a family, and it's not the soil that binds us, Linda. You know, and this is something that really about the, you know, concerning the taking of a knee during an anthem. You know, it's not the soil that we stand on that makes us America. It's the foundations of what the forefathers and the founding fathers put together, which God ordained, which was one nation under God, indivisible. That doesn't mean we're all standing. I mean, it doesn't mean you could be in another country and you're still American. You're still part of that. It's not soil that keeps us. It's not the fabric of a flag. It's the belief that we are indivisible and we are one nation under God. And so it really gets to the core of what they're trying to do. And when they take a knee during the anthem, they're not so much trying to protest their unequal treatment. They literally want you and me to fight each other. They literally want us to fall apart and start gnashing our teeth at each other and saying, and get into all these arguments. When the fact of the matter is that fabric and that dedication to one's country, America is different because we were set aside by God as a nation that believes in Him, and a lot of people in the elected offices, they're just scared to say it. So I'm not an elected official. I can say as I please, and our organization will always believe and love our Lord and Savior. So I mean, if I could ever, you know, get one thing across to people, is this: is that the one thing that I see the most that we've lost is the willingness to publicly profess our belief in Jesus Christ. And those things are very crucial to not only our blessings and things that God pours out for us, but it's also very critical to what our children and their kids and their children and the future generations, what they're going to go through and what types of things they're going to experience in their lives. And I know we kind of get a little, we digress a little, but I really believe that at the end of the day, that's kind of the things that they really want to take away from us. They want us to be divided. They know that if we're all reliant on the government, then we've already all lost our freedom. And the fact that I want to bring to people today is freedom is alive. Freedom is well. We are doing better than we have in quite some time. Markets are doing well. Not to say we won't have ups and downs, but the one thing is, as long as we're all together and we're pushing in the same direction, we'll have success no matter what. And I think the coalition for Trump and everything that we've done proves it. So.
Yep. You know, you're talking about faith and everything. We finally have a president and a first lady who has proudly brought Christ back to the White House. When I heard of the prayer meetings, when I heard how President Trump, before meetings, they have those prayers. And then when, oh my goodness, when our beautiful First Lady, you know, released the pictures and everything of the White House Christmas decorations, and the nativity is back in there, and the pictures of her and the children, and them saying, oh, she's an angel. And I cried. I cried happiness because it was like when President Trump was running, the opposite side, I call them elites because it doesn't matter if they have a D or an R, they're holding their hands behind our backs and laughing at us. The elites are. And, they tried everything they could to destroy this man. Everything. But he was our voice. I think our desire to take our country back, I think it strengthened even him, and I think it surprised him. He was able to stand up there with all of us having his back, and he ripped that curtain aside that was hiding all those swamp creatures. I laughed the other day when all this stuff was coming out about Hollywood and people in business and, these politicians and all these ones that are having these problems with sexual assault claims and everything. And I thought, yeah, how the mighty have fallen. They would stand up on their little pedestals and they would preach at us about this and that and the other. But look at them. Look at them. They are the ones that have been doing everything they've tried to accuse President Trump of doing. And it just, and they tried to belittle us. And look at them. They're the ones looking down their noses at us. And my heart just sings with joy that they are being exposed. Because this is going to be, I think our country is on the verge of a mass awakening. I just feel it coming, when we have organizations, like what you're putting together, getting people interested, getting them excited. We were excited during the campaign, but that was only the beginning. There is so much that needs to be done. And I just
totally
think
agree.
that as people,
Totally
as one people, sharing the same beating heart for freedom, with President Trump at the helm, there's going to be no stopping us. Absolutely no stopping us. And I am so excited to be a part of this. I want to let everybody know that Robert was very gracious in letting me join this organization with him. And I am so proud to be a part of it. I'm so proud. I am an official Patriot warrior. I am ready to fight. And I want to leave a world behind for my grandchildren that I can be proud of. I don't want to go into my next life thinking I left a big mess for them to have to live in. I was handed at my youth a good country. I want to give the same to them.
Well,
that's my goal.
Well, God bless you for that, and I completely concur with everything you had said. Linda, it's funny that you should say that you had cried when you looked at the. I'm not funny, but I know for a fact you're not the only one. I was actually. I was around when that video first came out. It was actually around a female that she started crying. She literally started crying. I didn't know she was watching that video, and it was the Christmas decorations and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, what's wrong? She just started crying, and then she shows me the video, and boy, I tell you what, it takes all you can do to hold them in. And what's really good about that is that we now have a president who's willing to discuss love and discuss things that a lot of us are always, and especially men in general, we're not real comfortable with talking about those kinds of things. It's kind of like, hey, we got our armor on, we're strong, so we start looking into we start delving into this, and it's exciting for everyone because the fact of the matter is, just because we want to discuss things that have to do with our children and how things are going with our country and all these. It doesn't mean that we can't have compassion. And I think that a lot of people on the left seem to think that Republicans have no compassion, when exactly the opposite is true. We just believe that a different route to getting to compassion is more than just giving people things. It's having them earn things. It's having them become a better person. And we believe that when someone excels at something and they achieve things on their own merit, we believe that makes that person a better person. And I think that anybody listening would agree with that, no matter what their party affiliation would be. But I tell you, it's kind of surreal to see the amount of activities that we have going on and the amount of people that we have involved. And it's accelerating, Linda. I mean, we see new people coming in every day that are excited on different facets of the organization. And I just look forward to the day when we can say, you know what, we now have our own organization built that can literally reach into any community in the U.S. and affect change somehow for conservative activism. Now, we're not the kind of organization that wants to be involved with anything to do with protest the protesters. Personally speaking, I guess it's, I spent a lot of time in California for Mr. Trump. We spent a month and a half out there. We were involved in every single incursion, or whatever you want to call them, protest involved out there. One way or the other, we were in the middle of it. There's really no good outcome to it. We don't really see any value in trying to convince protesters that they should be involved in the process of electing people. The fact of the matter is, most people who are violent protesters like that don't really care one way or the other. They're just there to either get attention or to break something or to be lawless. So we don't want to give them any time, credit, or even acknowledge their validity. So we stay out of those kind of things. We want to be involved in the fun stuff, as far as having pizza parties and getting together with voters and talking about the issues at hand, or getting people registered to vote. Just like I said before, we make music videos. We go out and do things in the communities that are, barbecues and things such as that are just fun stuff. Now, obviously, sometimes there's things that aren't so fun, and I'll tell you one of them, which is door knocking, which isn't a lot of fun, to be honest with you. But you know what? I tell you, it is a necessary thing, and we provided a lot of volunteers over to the Trump Organization to get them involved. And at this point, we have everything set up ourselves. So if anyone out there wants to get involved, again, go to the TrumpTimes.com and click on the menu button and click on Drain the Swamp. And you can get involved by filling out one of the volunteer forms there. Let us know what kind of stuff you want to do, what you excel at, and we'll find some stuff for you to do in your community, or on a nationwide level. We're looking for state leaders now. We do have some already set up, and we're also always in need of district volunteers and district leaders. It's an absolutely wonderful way to get involved with with politics, involved in your communities, and you have national backing, and that's a really good thing. I think that once people realize what type of organization we have here, they're going to want to get involved. It's exciting, it's fun, and also it's effective.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's always good to get together with your fellow patriot and doing something you all are passionate about. And I agree with the thing of not going face-to-face with the violent protesters. I mean, we don't want to lower ourselves to their level at all. I think positivity is what we need to do, and that's what your organization is striving for, and I think that's a wonderful thing. So everybody, you need to contact Robert, and you need to go to the TrumpTimes.com and get involved. This is going to be a wonderful movement, Robert. I think you're doing something absolutely amazing. So keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, Linda, and we look forward to talking to you again. And if anybody wants to reach out straight to me, they can send us an email to coalitionfortrump@gmail.com. I try to answer all of our emails on a daily basis. We do bear in mind, if we get a lot of them coming in at one time, it'll take me a couple days to get to it. But I don't want to let anyone fall through the cracks. We have stuff for everyone to be doing. There's fun stuff involved on every level. So we don't, whether you're good at Facebook or whether you're good at Twitter, or whether you want to be involved in your local community, we have things for everyone to be doing, and we definitely want you to be involved.
Sounds wonderful, everybody. Well, let's get busy and let's help President Trump drain the swamp and make America great again.
Thank you for your time today, Linda.
Okay, thank you. Bye.